Hi, I'm back for a new video about autism and OCD and the overlaps, and basically, yeah, I'm just going to talk about that. If you haven't seen me before and you're from Instagram, etc., I'm Hollie, I'm autistic, I'm also deaf, but that has nothing to do with these videos because I don't talk about being deaf, but yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to get into the video, and I'm going to start off by saying, actually no, if you like the video, subscribe, all that, like it, comment, all that, yeah, right, into the video. Autism, first of all, I'm just going to say what autism is, what OCD is. Autism is a lifelong disability. You are born with it. You are born with the autism, and it affects the way you communicate with the world and interact with people. There is many different traits of autism. It is presented differently in every single person. I have done, there's lots of traits of autism. Just go watch my videos on that because I can't, there's literally too many. There's too many for me to really say. You are all born with autism. You cannot develop it. You're born with it. Maybe due to genetics. We don't know. We don't know why you develop it. It is not the MRI or whatever that jab thing is. I don't know. I feel MRI is like a machine, isn't it? Yeah, it's not that jab that you have. It's not that. So if you think it's that, then no, it's not. So there you go. Back to the actual video. Okay, so OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. So you have your obsessions, which can be a recurring thought, image, thought of, and a fear, a worry that your mum might die, a worry that you might get burgled, a worry that, they're never good things, by the way. It can never be a good thing, like, you know, a recurring thought of going on holiday has to be something bad. These worries then can turn into compulsions, which is where you do things repetitively to basically stop this bad thing, this worry from happening. So if you thought you was going to be burgled, then you might continuously check the door, check the locks, etc, etc. So basically a big part of OCD is also repetitive behaviour. So you see where I'm getting at? See what I'm getting at? Overlaps, yeah. There we go. People often do, specifically girls, get misdiagnosed with OCD when they in fact have autism. I was not one of these people. I was diagnosed with autism first time round. However, my parents thought that I had OCD as a child because of certain traits that I had that was OCD. But when I was younger, I'd constantly be lining up my toys. I wouldn't play them if they moved. My mum, I've talked about this in a different video, but my mum was bought me Sumerian families, and I constantly be like, one of them knocked over, and be like hell loose, and then yeah, so everything had to be exact. My hair had to be, I'm not even gonna get into the hair. It's a very traumatic experience me talking about my hair. Basically, I had a double crown, so my hair used to stick up. I had a double crown, my hair used to jump up and stick up, and oh no, this ruled my life. I'm not joking when I said that this small thing ruled my life. So my parents thought this was OCD because I was obsessed with my hair. I had to put water on it all the time if it jumped up. I always wore a hat. I wasn't bothered at the bottom of my hair what that looked like, but out of school I always wore a hat constantly. I was known as Hollie with the hat. But then I was at school, and obviously you couldn't wear a hat at school. So these 4 years of my life consists of early mornings, getting up at 6 o'clock, 2 hours before school, doing my hair, putting gel on it, putting water on it, redoing it, tying it up, having bumps in, redoing it. It literally, and it was horrible. It was horrible. And then when I got to school, my life consists of looking in the mirror, putting water in, going to the toilet every 5 seconds. I think the teacher must have thought I had a bladder problem because I was in the toilet for hours, and I was constantly constantly putting water on my hair it was all I thought about. It was all I thought about. My mum thought this was OCD, and there was lots of other things that were OCD traits, books in a certain order, everything was done in a certain way for me, or I would have a meltdown. I don't think meltdowns are an OCD trait, but everything was done. When I was younger, everything was done in such an exact way. It still is, but obviously just differently. By the way, I'm just going to let you know that I have actually been moving around a little bit in this video. I've not just sat down straight and filmed this video straight because I was feeling all a bit discombobulated, and I just kind of needed to just take a bit of a break. So if you're feeling like it's a bit disjointed, I'm very sorry. As I was saying, there is traits that overlap, such as, I'm just going to list them and then give a few examples. Need for routine. There's need for a plan. Plan and routine, kind of the same, kind of not. Routine's like getting up and doing the same thing. Planning is like knowing what you're going to do. In case you didn't know, obsessive thoughts, worrying, anxiety, lots of organisation, need for things to be immaculate, need for things to be perfect, need to always do things in a perfect, exact way. Rituals for me is kind of like things have to be done the same way, mostly. Like, for example, every morning for me, it's like if I get up late on a morning, this is now, I will be late for school. I won't rush. Like, you know how like sometimes Mum will be like, okay, come on, rush. No, I'm not rushing. Sorry, I have to do things the same way I do it every morning. And as much as it is my fault, I woke up late, I ain't gonna be rushing. Like, I'll miss 10 minutes of class because I will not be rushing. I do things the same way every morning. I have the same amount of time in doing each specific thing. Everything is timed to an exact moment. I even narrowed down to brushing my teeth for a certain amount of time. If it's interrupted, it will throw me for the whole day. Another way is like I always have to have a drink when I eat food with me, or I can't eat. It's really weird. It's like I can't begin to eat food unless I can see the drink next to me. Am I talking sense? Is that even a ritual? So that is what I meant by rituals, putting it into like a perspective and it's like story time. Another trait of being autistic is having very intense special interests, which can be known as obsessions. This isn't really an OCD trait, but people think it is. People think when an autism special interest is kind of like an OCD trait. It's really not. What differs between autism and OCD is autistic people, they do the routine, they have the stability, they like to have things perfect in a perfect way because they enjoy it. They enjoy that. They enjoy having the routine. They enjoy having that doing things the same way. It's the way that our brain works. Whereas an OCD person, one thing, you can develop OCD. That's another difference as well. You can develop OCD after a really traumatic event, etc., etc. You cannot develop autism. So yeah, one difference is a lot of OCD people do not enjoy doing these things. They don't enjoy checking the doors. They don't enjoy having to have the TV on a specific volume. Like, it's got to be a number that is right, like a right number. They don't like that. Like, they do it because they think if they don't do it, bad things will happen. Whereas I don't. I, as an autistic person, don't think that. I have to do it because I need it for my brain, not because I think something bad's gonna happen. If I really put it in perspective, and that's what I've learned over the years, I have to put things into perspective to stop me from having meltdowns if things don't go the same all the time. I do need routine. I do need routine to function. Not because they think something bad's gonna happen. It's all because it's how I am. It's how I am, and if I don't know things in advance, I have to plan things, and this can be an OCD trait. People with OCD need to have stability and need to plan as well. So yeah, but there is a significant difference, and autism and OCD, I do feel like there is a lot of people with autism are diagnosed with OCD. I think it is more common with people who have autism to develop OCD or to have OCD because of the way our mind is automatically like functioned. Do you know what I mean? Because of the fact that these things are already there, it can then develop into things further, into OCD. So yeah, and I kind of wanted to bring a bit of attention on this because people are misdiagnosed, and I kind of want, if you're thinking you might be autistic, if you're thinking you might be OCD, I think you need to do research into both, because chances are you could think you're autistic but you might just have OCD. You could think you have OCD but you might be autistic. So that's kind of what I wanted this video to be about. Anyway, I'm just going to leave this video here. I'm really sorry again for maybe this video not having any actual meaning or really actually saying anything in it. But yeah, I'm sorry about that, and I will see you next week for a brand new video.